This video is going to be for water heater break, heater high temp, heater break, or a tank water route when the initial fill up doesn't get it. I go from here, but I'm just struggling to find the right balance of my water heater system. This is a great restarting point. So we're going to make sure the printer is off of the switch so it doesn't kick on, because we don't want to disconnect this tube while the printer is running and we're not in the water fill up menu. Disconnect from the in port. We're going to pull all of this solution out through the out port, and we're not trying to pull, the pump through the machine. We're just trying to create a little bit of negative pressure so our syringe fills up. Now, if we haven't done this in a while, if we're having issues, maybe there's not enough water in the system, maybe it's an old machine, this solution is going to be either bright orange, or we're only going to end up with 200 to 300 cc's in the tin, which is fine, and that's why we're going to start from scratch. The other thing too is, if we have the small syringe, one, this is going to take a little bit longer, but two, we're going to have to use the ports in the machine. But as long as we have this 120 cc syringe, then we can use the tube connection here. So now that all my solution's out, we're going to dump the old stuff. We're going to fill up the tin or 500 cc's in the system with the new stuff. And how I'm going to measure that out is I'm going to fill up 340 cc's of the water with the syringe just like this, and dump it into a reservoir so we can mix it, and then 170 of the antifreeze, and that way that gives us that 2-to-1 ratio. Next, I'm going to hook up my tube to the in port, and we're just going to slowly fill it up. I'm going to push about 4 syringes, 400 cc's in at a time total, so that way I don't overfill the system. But as soon as I get that 400 cc's in, then I'm going to prime the pump through the out port, just like we do when we have the water heater lack message and we go to prime the pump. The only difference this time is it's going to take a little bit longer because the system's empty since we just pulled it all out. So we're going to be essentially pulling it through the whole system. And I'm not too concerned about air in the system just yet because we're going to be pulling it all out. So once I get about 4 syringes in, I'm going to hook up the tube to the out port, and we're going to pull out. And as long as I have a little bit of vacuum, I just like to hold it. All we're trying to do is pull the solution through the system. And once I let that sit for a few seconds, I'm going to disconnect it here, push the air out, and do that one more time. Now, if it's an older system or we haven't done this in a while and this isn't pink and clean, I'll just take this out and throw it away. But if it's clean like this, then I'll leave it in there. Still pulling a little bit of air. We want a nice and steady stream into the syringe. If we see any air bubbles, then that's just going to cause us issues down the road. I'm going to purge this air a little bit more. Disconnect it from the out again. Hook it back up to the in. Now we're going to grab the last 100 or so from our tin. And one more time with the air from the syringe, push it out. Push it in the in. And now we know that this is going to prime our system. It's going to fill it up. So hopefully for the next 2 or 3 months, we won't be having any more issues. But we're going to twist the fitting back on the out port. And when I reconnect this fitting, I cheat it in the other direction. So that way the tension of the hose twists itself back on there and just finish it tightening it. And that way we also don't end up with a kink in the hose. And that's it. We turn the printer back on and we're good to go.